Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, grasshoppers. That was a close one. We almost did not make it back. What is going on here with my board? There we go. Got it. The right size. How did I know that he might give up the bishop pair just like that? He has to take. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What does he have here? What does he have here? We're going to know in just a moment. Who would have thought that it would end like this? What does he think? What does he think? What could happen now? Where? Oh, the knight can always go to a5, so let's get our stuff in while we can. Here, just in case. Interesting. Where does he think he's going? I feel like I'm getting somewhere. What could he do? Well, that's interesting. Doesn't he get skewered? Alright, let's try it. Oh no, it doesn't work. But we have to keep it up. Just in case. He has an idea. Trapping the knight? Easier than I thought. Creative chess here. It's what it's all about. What? Does he really slime me here? Am I up a pizza? I am up a pizza. Let's see what he does to try to defend himself. Can I do that? What do I wish to do with him? This is going to be much harder to checkmate with a pawn. There we go. We did it again. Thank you to Artem for letting me do that. He could have resigned at any time. Pawn mates. Paris gambits and pawn mates. Oh no, I can't do this to him. Paris gambit? I think not. Paris gambits and pawn mates. Paris gambits and pawn mates. I could have thought better about this. Where are you going, sir?
Pegasus SWE
said. BRB coffee time now.
Coffee time. Really? You're going to do that to me? Fine. 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 He does have another open file to work with that I'm not happy about. But it also means that we have another to work with as well. Really, what have you got here for me? I misjudged it. I didn't think that he was going to give me a chance. I didn't think that he was going to give me a chance. to checkmate with a pawn.
Mr. Jask
said, how do you get good at endgames?
Experience. Experience. You have to, Mr. Jask. You have to really, really analyze the endgames. It's not the endgames, by the way, that you're getting good at. You're getting good at transitioning into endgames that offer you good possibilities. For example, Bobby Fischer was not really so good at endgames. Okay, he was better than a lot of the other grandmasters to a certain extent, but he wasn't such a master of endgames until 1967. In 1967, he won a rook and pawn endgame that was equal, and he should have drawn it. His good friend, who later saved his life, Olofsson, Frederick Olofsson, told him asked him, how did you win such a drawn endgame? And he's like, that endgame wasn't drawn. And then Olofsson proceeded to demonstrate it to him basic endgame, rook and pawn endgame. I shouldn't say basic, but dynamic rook and pawn endgame rules. And then he realized, hey, I'm not that good at the endgame. So then he took it upon himself to study, to take a 6-month sabbatical, one of his famous 6-month sabbaticals, wherein he analyzed every game with an eye toward the end games, and then he became really, really good at end games. After 1967, the post-1967 Bobby Fischer was an amazing endgame player, or at least a more aware endgame player. Prior to that, Mr. Jask, Bobby Fischer, his main goal was to always go into endgames where he felt he had a chance to win. So therefore, Magnus Carlsen also does something very similar. He chooses endgames where his opponent has the greatest chances to make a mistake, or he chooses positions, opening choices, and transitions into middle games where he feels he has the most opportunities, or more opportunities than his opponent, that his opponent will not find the thread or find or misstep along the lines of a plan. Does that make sense, buddy? It's great to have you. Thank you for being a subscriber. Hopefully that answered your question. By the way, experience analyzing the classic games, paying attention to certain endgame books. I think there are 2 volumes on Magnus Carlsen, Endgame Virtuoso. Oh no, 2 volumes on Magnus Carlsen, Middle Game, Master of the Middle Game, or something like that, Middle Games. Middle Game Manual, 2 volumes of that. And then there is 1 volume of Anatoly Karpov, Endgame Virtuoso, Magnus Carlsen, Endgame Virtuoso. Smyslov also has an Endgame Virtuoso book. I would study those books because it's much more enjoyable to look at the mistakes of real players in real time and digest in a practical fashion endgames that are fun, enjoyable, and rewarding, i.e. rewarding. To study an endgame with no actual practical application is very difficult, and that is what most people think of as a jettison, So on average, Knight c6 on the first move, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Jask
said, thank you for the excellent answer.
Now, I do not have the definitive answer, but I hope that answer was general enough that you will make the most of it. Crossing my fingers for you. How do I keep this up? I think this is the only way to keep it up. I am reinventing the Jagoran's defense here as we speak. Because I do not have an absolute answer here, I am struggling with this one just as well as anyone. Look at White's pawn structure. What do we all think here? Can I get away with bishop c5, b takes c6, bishop takes f2 check? No. It's a very sad, sad occasion. So therefore, we are going to go about this exactly the way we think we should go about it. Note the lead in development. Note the better pawn structure, perhaps even. God forbid, if one could imagine. The safer king. Hard to believe that this answer exists. What do you know? What do you see? What do you know? What do you see? I am in for a penny. In for a pound now. We'll see if his rook is tied down. If his rook is tied down. What do we get when we have wow, 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 wow. I have Is this dangerous? It looks dangerous. He's trying to checkmate my queen. He might succeed. Let's get a rook to that file, just in case. Oh, really? Oh no. Is this true? It's getting scarier by the minute. Not making it through that one. Knight c6, not so good. Knight c6, not so good. I need to open up the old one. And we need it. We're still playing knight a3 on the first move. Now we're going to follow the normal, conventional rules of engagement, just in case. I survived that terrible loss of a piece just now.
Pegasus SWE.
Said.
Can you believe that I lost a
N8
piece?
then C4 ready.
Knight a3, then c4. Ready, ready, ready. Ready, ready, ready. Are you ready? Oh no. What was I thinking? 2 pieces for a rook? Guess that's what I have to get.
Dark Blade.
Said. Hey sensei, just came in, wasn't ND3 hanging just now?
Knight a3. The knight a3 was hanging just now, actually. Wow. 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 No, 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 no. It's not going to work, it seems. I didn't think about it.
Dark blade.
He's taking my queen with check.
Aimen on move 19.
On move 3 or 4, I actually hung a piece as well. In this position, I hung a piece right here. Bishop to b4 check. And takes my knight. So I hung that one. And of course I'm hanging this knight. So I'm attacking his queen. Can he take, you mean? Yeah, he could take. He could take my rook and take my my bishop for free, maybe, but then I get to barnacle. So no, it's not hanging. Fortunately, it's not exactly hanging. But it could well be hanging.
Dark blade.
Said. Oh yes, rook comes back in the end, missed.
We still have a couple of games from the earlier Blitz tournament to analyze, but that was a game that floored me. Congratulations to Boyette Madrica. And I needed to celebrate the other fellow as well in this morning's tournament. Congrats to Ron Hay. And I think I didn't do the analysis. Oh, I can't do an analysis on that one. George D. won. We have to request a computer analysis on this one. And then we had one game that did not get registered in our profile right before the sodium attack. What? Knight A3 is the sodium attack? No, it's not. That's the Paris Gambit. How can they call that the sodium attack? What's up with that, right? At least we got a pawn made out of the deal. Timofey Chess. I didn't get a computer analysis from Timofey Chess either. This one was an amazing demonstration of almost knowing what I'm doing. Everything was planned on Queen to G4, by the way. The moment he played Knight to D2, I actually saw Queen takes G4, Queen takes G7, and all the rooks coming in. So this was almost a no-brainer. He didn't have to take, of course. He should have, as the computer points out, just played f3 and tried to embarrass me. Because he always has bishop c4. But there's no guarantee I wouldn't have tried as well to keep my bishop on g4 just by retreating my queen and focusing on the h2 square. That was pretty cool. So I lost to George d1. That was horrendous. Knight a3. And then I should have lost this game too. Shouldn't I have lost this game? Maybe it wasn't this game that I should have lost. But needless to say, if you've not already... Oh, Na3 plus... Yes, Na3 is sodium. Well, that's way too smart for me. But it was always known as the Paris Gambit, or was it? Yes. I was always into AU, which was gold. All the normal ones, you know, we all know. HO, CO2, yada, yada, yada. But auric for gold, etc. All of the table of elements. I was fascinated by the table of elements when I was young. I completely forgot. We do need to fire up another warning.
Said. Trivia game, what does O stand for?
Oh, besides Austria, Australia, AUS is Australia. Yeah, Auric Goldfinger, I think was Goldfinger's first name, wasn't it? Auric Goldfinger? I think Auric was his first name. What a made-up name that was. Let's get our Rapid Swiss opened. I'm going to eliminate this code of 2450 in just a moment.
Dark Blade
said, I meant why is O gold?
Oh, why is AU gold? Interesting. I don't know the answer to that one. I assume that it means the word in German.
Dark Blade
said, it's the Latin word
Aurum
IRC.
Auric. Aurum Auric.
Hi.
From Zestoa, Spain. I love that you can actually travel the world with the help of these grandmasters as well. He's a Basque chess grandmaster, not just a Spanish grandmaster, but a Basque chess grandmaster. From the Basque. The Basque country is the part of Spain and France that borders across each other, separated by a mountain region.
Dark Blade
said,
known as the Catalan area,
BTW.
or the Basque area, depending on how you look at it. IIRC. Auric. Interesting. I did not research it enough. Control C. Message all members. Now we'll go back here. We'll grab the link. Copy the link address. We'll go forward. And I need this one. Control C. And we also need to restart the stream briefly, right? We need a better custom shout out. Kneel before Zod. Ah, yes. Darkblade 512. I'm sure the English is wrong there, but we at least got your shout out for the next stream. Alright, we are going to... I will be back in 60 seconds or less. Whoops.
Dark Blade.
Said. Should I consider joining? I'm so rusty I'm going to publicly embarrass myself.
You have to start somewhere. It's like not having walked in a long time after being in a coma. You're going to be very awkward at it, so therefore you should never start to learn to walk again after being in a coma, because it'll be embarrassing for everyone to see how you do it. Right? Doesn't make any sense. Needless to say, if those of you who have not yet subscribed to the YouTube, please do. If you've not yet joined the Discord, our great Discord magician, Darkblade 512 is here. Cheers and ciao, everyone. We will see everyone in just a few moments. Please sub to the YouTube channel if you have not yet already. I will be back in roughly 60 seconds.